Hello everybody, welcome to Walking with J.Beau. On this Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, as you can see, in just a couple of days a lot of the snow melted. And I might add, it melted while it was bitterly cold. How does that happen? Well, the sun angle is so high now that none of the snow really has a chance, even if it's cold out. Last night it was about 14 degrees overnight. The night before it was -1 Fahrenheit, and today it's 40 degrees, and the extended forecast looks pretty much mid to upper 30s, mid 40s to 50. So it kind of looks right now like winter is on its way out finally. So it's going to be time to start walking almost every day, which is why it's called Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. A little breezy today, but it's nice. I'm not going to freeze to death today. Pretty soon it'll be warm enough to put the knit cap away, wear just a hoodie instead of a hoodie with all kinds of stuff under it and a thick, extra thick hoodie on top. It's kind of borderline today. I'm going to do about 5 miles today instead of 6. Change my route a little bit. Back to the old route, which I've not walked for a little while. I'm going to turn the camera around for a minute and say hello. Hello everybody. Thank you for walking with me today. Saw something really bizarre online a little while ago. I still can't even believe it, but the Senate Democrats are trying to find a way to combat Republicans and Trump specifically. And the best that they could do was they recorded an ad that's portraying everything Trump's saying as being lying. Which is fine, that's free speech, they can do what they want. They're losing badly and they're desperate. So this ad features a senator reading a script on a teleprompter, obviously, trying to relate to the people and be cool. They're sitting in some kind of like home setting, holding a microphone, talking directly to people, while this thing is on the screen with the censored word for shit, SH*T, saying Trump is full of shit and stuff like that. They think it's some kind of young, hip thing to do. They don't really talk about anything else, about what they're going to do for the people, and they're just trashing Donald Trump. Like they didn't learn anything from this election at all. And what makes this really creepy is the Democrat senators all read the same exact script. Talk about GPC. I mean, geez, or NPC, non-playable characters, like in a game. They all basically look the same when you play video games, you know. So they all read the same exact script. Somebody made a montage of all the videos, or most of them. You got Elizabeth Warren, White House, Schumer, all of the usual ones. Cory Booker, all reading the same script. Same graphics on the screen, the same expletive censored. And you watch that and you're like, these idiots have learned absolutely nothing. Nothing. They're defending men and women's sports. There was a vote to have cloture on the floor. Democrats enacted the filibuster. So it required 60 votes to pass to ban men from women's sports. Every single Democrat, every single one, voted against it in favor of men and women's sports, despite it just losing them elections. I don't know if they don't believe it, or if this comes from Trump's executive order, because it would codify Trump's executive order as law, so they just voted against it because Trump did it. Midterms are next year. Midterm elections. There are several Democrats in red states who just voted on something that 79% of the public does not want, especially in red states. I'm talking about 2 up for re-election in Georgia, Warnock and Ossoff, 2 Democrats that won Republican seats in 2020. I think they're going to get ousted. Georgia went very Trump. By this time next year, Trump policies will be kicking in, and I think the Democrats are going to have to answer for not voting against that. That's going to be in every campaign ad, just like it was for Kamala. Every single battleground state spent millions of dollars on anti-transgender ideology advertising. Republicans won all of those states. So the Democrats, I guess, are not sick of losing yet. So this is all good for us, because 2026 was already looking good for Republicans. We may even gain 2 to 3 more seats. So Slotkin in Michigan didn't win her election by much, a Democrat in Michigan, and now she voted in favor of men and women's sports. Meanwhile, you have other Democrats that understand what we understand, like that Emmanuel there that used to be the mayor of Chicago, coming out yesterday saying that the Democrats have to change their message because this is not going to win. People care about food on their table, their jobs. They don't care about bathrooms, he said, and they don't care about these social issues. And the Democrats came up with a plan to change their messaging, yet you have the Senate head, Chuck Schumer, who is heavily influenced by big mega donors who want men in women's sports because they also are the ones responsible for what we're seeing in Europe with that. Democrats have lost a lot of donors. And the only way to get them back is to change their messaging. Yet here we are, they're still voting to have men in women's sports. With the excuse is, this isn't as wide a spread of problems, Republicans are politicizing this. What difference does it make if it's one girl that gets hurt because of stupid Democrat policies, or 1,000? Is there a difference? Who cares if there's only 100 or there's only 50 in all of university sports? They're winning the medals. So this is going to be another thing where Democrats are going to lose really badly on it. I'm so happy to see it. I'm so grateful that Democrats are so stupid, clueless, out of touch, in a bubble, completely not understanding what's going on right now in this country, out of touch. And they're going to find out. So we're going to enjoy it. So I'm at an intersection up ahead. I got to watch the traffic, so I'll flip this around for a couple minutes. Here we go. Sorry about that. So anyway, that montage thing with all the Democrats doing the same thing, reading that script. Elon Musk jumped on that in a hurry. And he said, I want to know who wrote that script and came up with these ads for the Democrats. He said he wants to see proof of it, and whoever provides proof on who made those ads and wrote that, he said he is going to give them a Cybertruck. How about that? Now, when you do stuff like that, that gets reported in the news, and this is going to be another ad campaign where the Democrats probably had some young people, the same young people that did the stupid messaging for Kamala, thinking that this was a great idea with these NPC type political ads featuring all these senators reading the same exact script. Nothing says I'm a party of robots, Democrats are a party of robots and puppets, than actually doing something that a robot and puppet would do. Unbelievable. You will never see that in Republican ads. Every Republican would make their own ad, write their own thing. The Democrats, apparently, too intellectually lazy to think on their own, have probably these interns, 24, 25 years old, writing these for them because they went to the same stupid universities. Hi, doggy. That's a little white dog friend we haven't seen for a while back there. Usually doesn't bark at me. Heard my voice. But typically that dog's little friend is with her. And that little dog usually leads the charge and does all the barking. When the little dog's not around, that dog doesn't bark. But barking today. Must be grouchy. Maybe happy spring is here like everybody else. So this is the route I've not walked all winter, because the sidewalks are usually messy and you have to walk on the side over here where the cars are going by. But it looks like I have the sidewalk back now. Excuse me. Democrats are just amazing. It's just amazing how out of touch they are, how they don't think. Perfect example. You know, there was an ad campaign that the Democrats did to make themselves look cool with the people. And there's Chuck Schumer on his patio with a gas grill. A gas grill, by the way. The same people trying to ban gas products, which is the other point I'm making, because of climate change. So he's using a gas grill, cooking hamburgers, or at least it looks like he's cooking hamburgers. There's no fire on in the grill. There's no steam, there's no sizzling. You got 4 raw hamburgers on the grill that's not even on. One of them has a slice of cheese on top, unmelted because it's not on. All for a photo op with Chuck Schumer with a smile, standing there with a spatula. Like, this kind of toxic masculinity is okay. I mean, these people are just a joke. They're literally a joke, doing things to embarrass themselves where most people would be embarrassed and not want to show their faces in public, but it doesn't faze them at all because they think it was great. Wow, we really showed them, didn't we? These people are a joke. It's no wonder they're losing. I mean, quite honestly, at this point, we don't really need to worry about it. Just let them keep talking. They're going to do all the winning for us. Whew. Steep hill right here. When I first started walking, that hill killed me. So I don't walk up it slow, I go up the hill. But I can feel I am a little bit out of shape. Not hugely, obviously, because I walk enough, but I felt like I had to take a couple extra breaths going up that. Talking on here while trying to breathe doesn't help either, but I'm just saying. And now I'm recovering. So once we get down through this patch here where I could fall, because it's wet and there's ice, see? Right here. I have to watch where I'm going. That's why I'm not flipping the camera around yet. Which may or may not make you happy. But we are on a hill. And this is wet ice. So gravity will do its thing and make me fall. And I really don't feel like falling on camera. I would upload it. I would. Unless I broke something and had to call an ambulance. And I'm not going to air that kind of laundry in public. But I probably would not get hurt falling down because I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, a t-shirt over that, a hoodie over that, and an extra thick plushy hoodie over that. And I am sweating hard right now because of it. So we're going to be warming up. We are going to have a couple of days this week, 45, 50 degrees, but we're going to have rain with it. So I'm going to have to pick my walks in there, but I'm definitely going to be walking when it's almost 50 degrees. I have an umbrella. A lot of people are like, why don't you just use an umbrella? Well, because it messes up your rhythm. Whew. All right, be very careful on this. That is like glaring wet ice right there. This whole strip right here is a guaranteed instant your feet are going to come out and you're going to die. So I'm going to take the side here where it's crusty, take my time. So if I lose my footing on this and slip on that, I'm going for a ride. So you always want to try to stay where it's crusty. A couple of days this will be gone, maybe even by the end of the day tomorrow. So there we go. Now we get some asphalt back again. All right. We got some more down here. I've not gone this route for a while. Now you can see why. So we'll go down this way. This is a great route to walk in the summertime. I really enjoy it, especially when it's hot and humid and you can wear just a t-shirt and shorts. It's the best. So I certainly understand why you guys down south love the warmer temperatures. And walking at midnight when it's 80 degrees with a high dew point and very humid, it's rare here, but it does happen, and I do enjoy it when it does. All right, sidewalk looks pretty good here, and you'll see down ahead here, the reason why I was taking that side street off to the left this way was because over here there's no sidewalk on either side. So I think I'm going to do that again, because the clearest way to walk up ahead is either right on the side, hoping cars see you, and it's a long stretch, sort of. Safest route is just to go down this way. Plus we can go check on the maple syrup buckets, because that's where they were hanging. And this way, on the best side to walk down here, would have traffic at my back, which I never do, and I don't recommend if you're going to walk to have cars coming behind you. So when we get around the corner here, past this last patch of ice on hill, ooh, I can feel that slick, just taking baby steps on it. All right, we made it. So I'm not going to go that way because of the sidewalk issue I talked about. I'd probably be okay. We're going to go down this way and then hang a right across the street there. this back around, and so we're making our way on our walk. Nice to walk today without being cold, freezing to death, so very happy about that. I'm going to cut across here. Cut across. We'll cross the street. Now, things like this kind of make me wonder. It's like these people just stopped shoveling their property. But their garage entryway is clear, so I guess they don't walk the house anywhere. They just leave in their car, or they don't leave. So I can see the maple buckets are still hanging out there. Yep, we got the buckets out here. There they are. Right over here. I don't know if you can see in there, but there is about a little over a quart in there. I don't see the tap running right now. It says the best time, I looked it up online after seeing this, was the best time to do this was when it is below freezing overnight, colder than 32, and somewhere around 40 degrees the next day. That's the best time to tap maple syrup. Maple sap to make maple syrup. Thought that was interesting. I didn't know that. Also learned about eggs yesterday. Now I remember this one had a lot more sap a couple days ago, so they must have changed it. So they must have got a lot out of there. And it looks like, yep, that one's still dripping. And we got another one up here. That one's doesn't have very much in it either. So I think that one right there has a little bit in the bottom, so that must have filled up as well. So that's pretty cool though. So after all the snow melts, I'll be a street over that way on the usual route, even though this one really doesn't make enough difference. It's like, you know, I can see the other street here through the trees, so it's not really a big detour. So what else? Trump is addressing Congress tonight. I highly recommend every American watch it because it's going to cut through the media narratives. He's going to lay out the economic plan for America, probably explain that some prices are going to go up, but this is an investment to having more money in everybody's pockets later, which is the multi-pronged approach I'm sure he's going to cover tonight, with cutting foreign aid to other countries to cut government spending, cutting government spending, cutting waste and fraud. Those are the big ones. Now, he's making this speech tonight, I think, because Elon Musk is about ready to go into Social Security. That is a big political topic that loses elections for people, and they mess around with Social Security. So it needs to be made clear that they're looking for waste and fraud and nothing else. So I'm sure that's going to be a big part of the message tonight, as well as Medicare, because that is the big talking point for Democrats. Medicare, Social Security, entitlements. Stuff that is causing the high prices and everything through inflationary spending. So I think most Americans get it, but you're always going to have some that don't understand the economics of it. So hopefully that can be explained well enough. And I am very happy to see the media going so hard to be anti-Trump that they're losing the point of what's going on right now. That's actually a blessing. And I think Trump counts on that. They're trying to get the public to turn against Trump. That's their main goal. They want to ruin Trump, even after everything that's happened, and nothing could ruin him, because 2026 midterms get Democrats back in power is their main goal. And then I'm sure the House Democrats are going to start impeachments and their stuff that they did before. And the Americans really just don't have the stomach for that. They just don't. Tired of it. Democrats are dumb. They didn't get the message. So hopefully before the election, you start seeing Democrats screaming about impeaching Trump. Vote for me and I'll impeach Trump. I really hope they do that again, because it's going to hurt them this time. And this country has been in turmoil since 2020. We just had a horrible president, Joe Biden, who basically, his administration has ruined everything because he wasn't the president, he was a puppet with dementia. Really sad to watch, could barely speak sometimes. Terrible thing that happened, you know, and stolen elections have consequences. Hamas attacking Israel on their own soil wouldn't have happened if Trump had been elected last time. And all of this crap going on with Ukraine and Russia. I mean, we're on the verge of World War III, you know, because one election with stupid people running things. And here's the other kicker, okay? The media doesn't talk about this too much, but I read a lot of economic news from all sides. I like to get the full picture, the propaganda and facts. And one of the facts not really discussed is the last 2 years of the Biden administration. They went on a big spending spree. Big spending spree. Everything from using USAID money for pet projects to all kinds of shenanigans. And that's why prices are spiking right now for stuff. Trump's only been in office for 5 weeks. None of what's going on now with prices has anything to do with anything Trump's done. It's going to take a while for his changes to kick in place. So I've mentioned that many times on my walks. That's just the fact of it. We didn't feel Joe Biden's damage till about a year after he did all that stuff. So now we're going to start feeling that huge aid package that Biden gave Zelensky, who doesn't appreciate it apparently. And apparently Trump administration has cut military aid off from Zelensky, similar to what Biden did to Israel. And so the Democrats are going to cry foul, but you know, Biden did the same thing. So been many presidents in the past have done that, because Zelensky's being a little thug. Also, there are many people in the EU, leaders, trying to get Zelensky to make amends. And Trump reiterated yesterday again that hopefully there's a mineral deal still on the table, he said. And then Zelensky was speaking to a crowd talking about how this is going to be a long war in Ukraine, and basically saying peace isn't possible. Trump was like, what the F? What the F did you just say? And because of his comments, Trump cut off the aid, military aid, because Zelensky wants a war. Now I think the rest of the people are figuring it out in this country, that Zelensky has a zero tolerance policy with Russia. He wants Russia completely out of Ukraine 100%. Sane people know that's never going to happen unless you involve NATO and have a full-scale war against Russia, which would end in probably our cities here getting nuked, okay? This is a big deal. I don't want to get nuked. Zelensky he's dangerous, very dangerous. He's more dangerous than Putin is. And Putin's not a nice guy. I don't support Putin. I need to make that very clear to you guys. This isn't a, if you don't go with Zelensky, you're rooting for Putin thing. Or if you go for Putin, you're not rooting for Zelensky. Both of these people are awful. I have said it on my walks many times. The guilty parties in this are Ukraine, Russia, specifically Putin, the EU, and the United States administration we had in charge. Everybody did really bad things to facilitate this war, especially Boris Johnson in the UK. Terrible decisions he made. And I remember seeing him sitting there at the table like a puppet, uttering the Build Back Better mantra. You know? He's a globalist. These are globalists that are doing this. So, alright, gotta be very careful here. Very careful. I think I made it. I did. So, these people are very dangerous. The only person right now that wants peace is Trump. And I was watching George Stephanopoulos, or as Trump calls him, Slopolopoulos, talking with Marco Rubio, Secretary Rubio. And Rubio had to basically got in a heated exchange with him, explaining to him facts. And George was wrong on everything, because he's trying to get Trump. That's all they friggin' care about. And Rubio told them, if this was a Democrat president trying to broker peace, people would want to give him the Peace Prize, call him a hero. But because it's Donald Trump, he said, you know, and that's exactly what's going on. These people are not thinking clearly because they're partisans. The Democratic Party is getting shellacked, and they're blaming Donald Trump, so they're attacking Trump. They don't care about World War III, who dies on the battlefield, what's right, what's wrong. Gotta get Trump! Very dangerous. And stupid. These people are stupid. I mean, capital S, stupid. So there's another person there beeping to get on camera. Kind of a funny phenomenon, ain't it? The joke's on them. I'm not streaming live, so I just think that's really bizarre. Because I know if I was driving and somebody was walking with a camera, I wouldn't go by beeping trying to get on camera. That's really bizarre to me. Anyway, I'm gonna flip the camera around. 2.5 miles we just hit. On this route, I hit about 2.5 miles at the sign here for the park, which used to have a school on it. No longer does. So damn, man. Damn. Capital D, damn. Now the other thing I saw I wanted to talk about was flip the camera around again. The other thing I wanted to talk about is let's get this situated. Whoops. The thing I wanted to talk about is farmers. Farmers have had a terrible time since 2019. Trump got into the tariff thing with China, and because of other issues we could not control, farmers had a hard time. It mostly had to do with fertilizer price and regulations, over-regulation. So the thing with the regulations is that affects farmers is Mexico and these other countries that import their produce don't have the same regulatory rules for things like pesticides and how crops are harvested, and the United States farmers are over-regulated. So Trump has cut a bunch of regulations this time, geared towards making their life easier. And the farmer I saw, he made a video, said that he and his family have been farming for decades. Two of his family members, he said they grew soybeans and things like that. They said the tariffs with China are going to hurt them, he said. It is going to hurt them. But he said he understands that in the long run, this will make a more competitive market for farmers. It will be better for American farmers because it's going to make them more competitive with foreign sellers. So they said in the short term, they understand there's going to be pain, but they see the long term because they're business owners. That's the thing with business. You always want to see the long term. What is the long-term return for our investments in business so we can thrive? So they're supporting the Trump tariffs with Mexico and China and Canada because they have been getting undersold. They're forced to sell their products to China because the markets in the United States, they don't make a profit. This is going to change that. So they're happy about it. And Trump has deregulated the industry. So now they're going to be able to grow without being restricted and do their thing. So I think they were most happy about that from the videos that I watched from farmers who this actually affects. They said they were having a hard time because of fertilizer shortages in 2019. Then COVID hit. The whole country was put on pause for over a year, basically. And so Biden didn't do anything to help them, because that's part of the European model of destroying the farmers. just look in Europe, what they have done to the farmers in Europe, all the protesting they've done. And they protested. It didn't really help them much. It did change public opinion somewhat, so I guess that's worth it, but they still have the same stupid climate change policies that crippled them in the first place. So you have farmers in some countries in Europe who are forced to kill some of their cattle because of emissions. Methane gas in the atmosphere. Absolutely insane. And these people are crazy. They're lunatics. They're in a cult. And unfortunately, they own all of Europe, most of it. And I don't think the citizens in Europe are going to get it back. I really hate to say that. Not without revolution or something bad. Because your politics have been taken over. And even your conservatives are weak, feckless people, career politicians, probably invested in climate change themselves to make themselves rich. Same problem we had here in America, which we still have. Many Democrats here and some Republicans have enriched themselves off the people. But things are changing. They are changing. I would not say they were if they were not. So we've been trying to change this for 10 years. That's how long it takes. We finally had somebody like Donald Trump, who they tried to imprison for life on trumped up charges, exaggerated charges with crooked judges, rigging the juries by ending up with jurors that hate Republicans and hate Trump because the trial was held in some place where he cannot get a fair trial, New York City. That should have been held outside somewhere, outside of New York. And he would have been acquitted. I know he would have been. So, anyway, neither here nor there. They have failed. So, now Trump is going completely unleashed, and I am loving every minute of it. He has to be the most consequential president we've had since Eisenhower, probably, or Roosevelt. This is glorious. He is wielding full authority of the presidency, and he is going to win most of these court cases. Not all, but we'll win most of them. And Democrats are so screwed. They're so screwed because nobody in the Democratic Party has balls this big. And let's just say it the way it is, right? I think we ought to just start calling Trump President Big Balls. Works for me. Now tonight, during this congressional address, he's going to speak directly to Congress's faces. Now, Axios is reporting, and probably true, that many Democrats are going to be in the seats protesting Trump while he's talking. Supposedly they're bringing noisemakers and other things, signs. But, you know, the president of that, which will be the House Speaker Johnson, can bang his gavel, halt proceedings, and order them to stop doing that or they'll be removed. So, I don't want to die. I'm going to get on the sidewalk here. So anyway, I'm going to flip the camera around. So we have they're planning on, I guess the congressional women or Democrat women, probably senators too, are going to be dressed in pink, supposedly. So they're going to sit there for women's rights, which is a laugh. Really bad hypocrisy signal sending, which, you know, is going to get pounced all over on the social media. And they're going to look stupid again. And this is how out of touch they are. So you have men playing in women's sports, naked men in girls' locker rooms in high schools, okay? We got children that are minors being exposed to naked men in the locker room. 79% of the public does not support it. So Democrats tonight, females, are going to show up all wearing pink to advocate for women's rights. What are the women's rights they're advocating for? Not ones that would be common sense, like not having boys' cocks in their faces in the locker room, but being able to kill a baby, abortion. Women's rights. Out of touch. They are out of touch. So they're going to have noisemakers. And, you know, excuse me for my expletive I use, but I get worked up with these idiots. I'm sure you do as well. No high school girl wants a penis in her face while she's trying to get dressed, okay? Or shower. They just don't, okay? They could try to force this on as many people as they want to, but inherently, women know what a penis is for, okay? It doesn't belong to women as being part of women, all right? So, anyway, so here we go, right? Supposedly they're going to stage walkouts. I don't know what topic they're going to choose to walk out on. That should be interesting. They're also going to bring fired federal workers from Oregon. Are going to be there. The good news is we're not going to have a Speaker of the House ripping up the speech, making faces at Donald Trump. That's the good news tonight. The Democrats are going to have to watch out of power. So it's going to be really interesting to watch that tonight. I highly recommend it. It's going to be on at 9 o'clock, okay? 9 o'clock tonight. The pregame, if you want to call it that. Supposedly, most networks are going to start covering it around 8 o'clock. I'm going to watch it on C-SPAN, so I don't have to listen to any idiots talking. You know, there needs to come to a point where you watch the speech and you have a discussion with yourself and you go, self, was that a good speech or was it not a good speech? What did I like in it? What didn't I like? What could have been done better? What was done exceptionally well? You don't need these people on TV to tell you what you just saw for yourself with your own eyes and what you heard with your own ears. Now, the other thing I want to talk about tomorrow, I may actually check this out. Is there a committee hearing tomorrow? From what I understand, Mayor Wu of Boston is going to be testifying in front of this committee, subpoenaed by the Republicans, I guess. And I don't know if she was subpoenaed, but she was asked to appear. But anyway, it has to do with sanctuary cities. So there are mayors from different cities that have been called to explain themselves to Congress, since that's where the money for their sanctuary city comes from. So that puts them in a position of, do I come here with argue with Republicans that are in power and will cut my funding? With the president happy to do it? Or are they going to come there trying to play innocent? Now, Mayor Wu of Boston has said that she is going to resist the federal government with immigration policy and go against ICE. And there is no sanctuary cities in the eye of the federal government. There's only federal law. So if you obstruct federal law, it's a crime. Doesn't matter if you're elected to office or not. That means a governor can be arrested, a mayor, city officials, law enforcement officers. If they prevent the federal government from doing their job, they can be charged and arrested and charged with a felony, which could end their careers. And Tom Homan is not screwing around. He said he was going to do that. The other good news is immigration is at a lower level than even the lowest level Trump had it at when he was in office before. So that's good news, okay? I'm sure he's going to mention that tonight because that was a campaign promise he made. He said he could do it. Democrats said he couldn't, and he did it. And it's almost like the argument's going to be now, well, then why do we need a wall? Well, I think we should have a wall. But, you know, as soon as we get a Democrat president in there, immigration taps are going to open again. Because that's what they want. Just like they want men and women's sports. And they want to mutilate children. And they want to endlessly fund World War III. And right now, the Democrats are doing everything wrong. The public is waking up to it. It's not too late. Usually what you see is you see somebody win a presidential election, then everything goes quiet. People go away until 2 years in. That's not happening this time. Republicans are still active. Republicans are still pushing, and Democrats are trying everything. I'll flip the camera around again. Now, we just saw the media trying to make it look like constituents were showing up to protest Republicans at Republican town halls at the government cuts. And those are paid protesters. Everybody knows it. It's another gimmick, not working, that used to work, doesn't work anymore. And Trump posted about it on Truth Social. So have many Republicans. And Fox News also confirmed that this was an organized, they actually brought Democrats in on buses. They probably live in that district. But it's not the Republican constituents. They're activists, okay? So it's more staged nonsense. And even today, I watched CNN for a few minutes, and they were covering people starting to gather for the congressional address tonight. And they had a gaggle of protesters outside, and CNN was using an in-tight camera thing to make it look like there was more people. And then, for some inexplicable reason, they panned back for about 20 seconds, and you could tell there was maybe 24 people. They tried to make it look like it was a crowd of 500. He's out there talking about it, hyping it up, all excited, like, look at the crowd that's here. And then you see the crowd, it's like 24 people that are supposedly federal workers that got fired, who probably aren't even federal workers. Again, some of those protesters, I don't want to say they've been paid protesters, but they're definitely there with an agenda. So this is going to fizzle out for the Democrats like everything else, because all they're doing is ringing social alarm bells, playing on people's feelings, fear, peer pressure, fear mongering, instead of this is so and so from the Democratic Party, this is what we're going to do to help you. Forget about Donald Trump. This is what we're going to do. And until they figure out that that's what they have to do and actually have a message, this is going to continue to lose for them. And it's such a glorious thing to see a party that is so lost and so stupid. And this is going to be great to watch. It is now. Enjoy. Now, all the networks tonight after the congressional speech, oh, this is the worst speech by Trump ever. Oh, this and that. Oh, he insulted this. Oh, he's a misogynist. He's a racist. They're going to keep beating the same ridiculous drum that didn't work before. He just won the election. He won the popular vote. Okay? You've been calling him fucking Orange Hitler for 2 years, trying to lock him up, calling him a rapist, and all this other stuff. And the American people said, fuck you. We don't believe it. So it's like more of the same, please, right? Tell me again the Democrats aren't stupid. I dare you. So anyway, doesn't get any more dumb than that. I mean, seriously. You know, we don't want to cut government spending. We want high school boys' penises in your daughters' faces, and we want them to give them concussions. And the only women's rights that are allowed are whatever we say, and that's the right to kill your unborn baby. It's like, come on, give me a break. And you have to remember all the other stuff that they tried and failed with. Like the Me Too movement, remember that? That was an anti-Trump movement because of accusers that came forward. Believe her. No matter what, you have to believe her. Then we had Blasey Ford with the Kavanaugh hearings. People knew she was lying. Full of it. Complete garbage. The media had some teeth at the time still, but they have since become toothless. Legacy media right now is a 90-year-old man with no teeth left in his face, drooling at the desk reading the news every day. It's over for them. It's done. Gone. Their history. So anyway, this new advertising campaign by the Democrat senators, where they all made the same exact speech and video, I mean, beyond pathetic. They completely just don't get it. Trying to be young and hip and appeal to young voters, that's what that was, by using expletives, because it works for Trump. You know, they're trying to out-Trump Trump. You can't just go up there and say F this and use the S word and try to be cool. You're either cool or you're not cool. So anyway, the two big Senate races to watch for 2026, in my opinion, is the two that we lost in Georgia to Democrats, Warnock and Ossoff. We win those two back with two Republicans, and the Democrats are going to be out of power in the Senate for another 6 years. So, very interesting stuff. Also, the Republicans are introducing legislation for an amendment to change the Constitution. I don't think it'll ever get done, but it'd be funny if it did. To extend term limits for presidents to 3, like it used to be. Now, FDR served 3 terms. So, put the camera back around. And we don't have the little doggy barking at us today. Figured out he's got a little doggy door. When he hears my voice talking to you, he comes out barking. Took me a while to figure that out because the door is behind a bench. But anyway, if you want to see a Democrat's sphincter pucker hard enough to snap a pencil. Talk about another term for Trump after this one. But I'm not kidding, that's going to be legislation introduced. There's some other ones as well. But you know that trans women and female sports Republican bill in the Senate, cloture vote, needing 60 votes. How it turned out was 45 Democrats, all the Democrats voted against it. 51 Republicans voted for it, all 51 that voted, and there were 2 Republicans that didn't vote. And I think it had to do with either health or family issues. One was from Wyoming, and another one, I forget where. Two nobodies that I don't know, but they usually always vote Republican, so it must have been something serious. But originally it was thought you'd need at least 7 Democrats, so that would have needed 9 out of 45, and I guess they're not ready to do that yet. Right? So I got a feeling after they lose midterms, which as it looks right now they would be, the only chance that Democrats have for midterms next year is prices going out of control, Trump's tariffs not working, something bad going, you know, not in our favor. Otherwise, Republicans should win, which typically, historically, the Democrats should retake the House, because that almost always happens, but not every time. So it's going to be one of those things. Most of the time, under normal circumstances, well, nothing's been normal, so can't really say Democrats are guaranteed the House majority, because, you know, they don't really have anything good to offer. And Trump is killing it. He's killing it. So this is that time of year, all this stuff is melting. And you can see all the trash melting out of the snowbanks. That's stuff that people throw out of their car windows going by and stuff. It accumulates because you can't run the street sweepers. And this is the result. You get a whole bunch of trash like this. That'll all be cleaned up. As soon as this snow is all melted and they know it's not going to snow anymore, they will come out and clean it. But look, I mean, jug containers and cigarette wrappers, bottles, plastic, pieces of siding off houses. It'll get cleaned up. Yeah, I got a really good sweat going right now. turn left over here. Ooh, I am drenched in sweat. So it's 40 degrees. The air feels more mild today. And we do have some rain that's coming in. So the next walk, I'm not going to wear this big, thick, plushy hoodie. I'm going to wear just a regular hoodie underneath it that I have underneath it. And not wear this big hoodie because I am sweating way too much. It's actually good, but you know what I mean. So pretty soon it'll warm up enough to start walking more at night. Increase the chances of seeing deer and things like that. If you've walked with me before, once in a while we see deer. Saw one right here, actually. So I'll get back to the house, the ranch. I'll take a nice hot shower, make some supper. And watch President Donald tonight. That was Trudeau's big insult today at his press conference. The trade tariffs kicked in last night at midnight. 25% tariff on all Canadian goods. Reciprocal, because Canada has been charging us high tariffs for a long time. And that's over with now. So it's heating up. China has also increased their tariffs on the United States by 10%. So goods made in China are going to start going up in price because retailers are going to pass it on to you. I don't know what Trump's plan is about that, but we will find out. So if you're going to ask me if now is a good time to buy a car, well, the new Treasury guy, Besant, says, and he's really good, by the way, Trump chose one of the best, says that these tariffs really aren't going to affect inflation. Right now, if you see any inflation increasing, which it has gone up a little bit, it's a leftover from Biden's spending. Trump's only been there 5 weeks, 6 weeks. It's not nothing the Trump administration did. Everything the Trump administration has done so far is geared towards deregulation, increasing energy production, and making it clear that if you are a country coming to the United States, you can build your factory here, make your products here, and you won't be tariffed. So Apple is going to invest $500 billion building a factory here, making Apple products, and because they want a piece of that AI market that Trump is promoting. See, this is all investment business stuff. The United States is a corporation, basically. And so we also have You also have a Taiwanese multi-billionaire who's going to be building a chips factory. Not potato chips, but microchips. These little microchips you can put on the head of a pin. Superconductors, things like that. Stuff that's going to be needed for the AI industry that we're building and we're going to lead the world in. The United States is going to lead the world in something. AI technology. So anyway, Arizona is going to get a nice plant. It's going to create about 20,000 jobs in Arizona. So congratulations, Arizona. And we're going to make chips because it's also a national security issue. If China invades Taiwan, we don't get any chips. Now you guys all remember how there was a car shortage. People couldn't find a car to buy because they didn't have the chips because of the COVID pandemic. Well, that's because we don't make chips here. This is why Trump wants to make chips here. Congress, under the Democrats, did pass the CHIPS Act, okay? A lot of Democrats are getting rich off that, but we do have a chips promotional thing passed by Congress, and so the infrastructure is getting set up for it. So don't like their spending on making themselves rich. Another keeps going out, but I just had a flame going. The cigarette lighter, got plenty of fluid in it. I don't know how many of these I have found, and this one here looks like a VHS tape. They all have different designs. Kind of a stupid thing to be into, but you would be surprised how many functional cigarette lighters I find on my walks. Another thing I find a lot of is box end wrenches, sockets for nuts, and nuts from wheels that fell off car wheels, lug nuts. So kind of things you don't really notice unless you walk. Another thing I see pretty often, which is bizarre, is underwear. A lot of times I will see underwear on the side of the road somebody threw out of their car for whatever reason. Don't want to know. I've seen bras, brassiers. So very strange things go on inside cars in the dark. So I'm sure each one of those has a story. But anyway, it has been a good walk today. I'm going to be signing off up ahead. Click like and subscribe, share the content, and say a prayer for President Trump in the United States. That's another thing that's positive that's going on that I prayed for, actually, was for God to come back into America and have a lot of Americans find God again. God right now is having a resurgence. People are looking for something, faith, hope. So that's good. Ask and you shall receive. So click like and subscribe, share the content, be good to one another, say a prayer for Trump and our country, and God bless you and our family. And friends, we'll see you on the next walk. Thank you for being nice. I'm truly humbled by the people that do watch, and I'm very grateful. And again, I'm not monetized. I just like to talk to people, and I hope you enjoy it. So we will talk to you again very soon, since the weather has been better, and we should get into a regular routine again somewhat. And we will talk to you soon, everybody. Bye bye, friends.